In the headlines, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Allied Institutions suspend strike action for 2 months. Police raid kidnappers' den in Kaduna, arrest 20-year-old bandit with 2 AK-47s. Traders count losses as Borno government demolishes cattle market. And on the foreign scene, Washington boosts military aid to Ukraine as strikes continue in the east. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. The Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Allied and Education Institutions on Saturday announced the suspension of their ongoing strike for a period of 2 months. SANU's national president, Muhammad Ibrahim, disclosed this in Abuja. The unions had called for the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement, payment of earned allowances, usurpation of non-academic career positions by vice-chancellors, the inclusion of university staff school into the university community, non-payment of minimum wage arrears, and funding of state universities. The strike by SANU and NASU has led to suspension in the issuance of academic transcripts and mobilization of graduates for the compulsory one-year service organized by the National Youth Service Corps. And abducted Nasarawa State Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Alhaji Lawal Yakubu, who was earlier released on Thursday, has reunited with his family after completing medical examination at an undisclosed facility. The Nasarawa State Police Public Relations Officer, Ramhan Nansel, confirmed the release of the commissioner in a telephone interview with journalists on Friday. He said the development followed sustained pressure of combined security operatives on the kidnappers. Meanwhile, police operatives in Kaduna State have arrested a 20-year-old bandit with 2 AK-47 rifles at Galadima community in Giwa local government area of the state. Spokesman of the Kaduna State Police Command, Muhammad Jaligi, said in a statement that the bandit was arrested by police operatives of Operation Restore Peace. He said the operatives, acting on credible intelligence, dislodged and identified kidnappers' den at Galadima Forest after engaging the bandits in a fierce gun duel. Jaligi said the operatives recovered 2 AK-47, AK-49 rifles and 5 rounds of live ammunition, as well as handsets. The suspect is currently undergoing thorough investigation, while operatives are still on the aggressive pursuit of his fleeing gang members. And the police in Osun on Saturday confirmed that the convoy of the wife of Osun State Governor Kafayat Oyetola was attacked by hoodlums on Friday at Owode in Ede. In a statement, police spokesperson Yemisi Okpalola said the security personnel on the convoy were injured. He added that 5 suspects were arrested by the police in connection with the attack. And police operatives attached to Kurfi Divisional Police Headquarters have repelled a terrorist attack and have put down an unspecified number of attackers in the process. About 40 terrorists armed with AK-47 rifles attacked Wapa village in Kurfi local government and whisked away 2 persons who were rescued in a counter-attack. Abdullahi Amadi has details on this and more other happenings in Katsina.
Responding to a distress call from the affected villagers, the divisional police officer in Kurfi mobilized his men, blocked all the exit routes to and from Wapa village. Moving forward, the tactical operatives, with the support of vigilantes and people from the surrounding communities, engaged the terrorists in gun battle and rescued the kidnapped victims. Many of the terrorists were killed and several others escaped with gunshot wounds during the encounter. The police are now combing the nearby bushes with a view to recovering the wounded and the dead bodies of the terrorists. We need to have an accurate information and a collaboration that works between security operatives and communities, especially on the bandit movement. The synergy must continue until the terrorists are defeated. The rescued victims have since reunited with their families, thanking the police operatives of Kurifi Local Government Division for their quick response. We were attacked and abducted by unknown gunmen, and as God would have it, we were rescued. The police and our local vigilantes responded swiftly. Many thanks to all of them. The police and other local vigilantes deserve commendation, but our state actors, a lot needs to be done. Many communities no longer sleep. We are always at work, maintaining vigilance throughout the day and night. We are exhausted. The successful rescue operation is a clear indication that collaboration between security personnel and communities affected by the phenomenon will lead to the terrorists being defeated. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says at least 225 communities across 31 local government areas in Kano and Jigawa states have been affected by flooding. Coordinator of NEMA Territorial Office in Kano, Nuruddin Abdullahi, stated this while briefing newsmen in Kano on Saturday. He said heavy and prolonged rainfall since July had resulted in severe and extensive flooding in many communities in northern Nigeria. NEMA called on residents and stakeholders to take proactive measures to avert incessant flooding currently ravaging various communities. Meanwhile, 10 persons are confirmed dead after heavy flood in Gire local government area of Adamawa State. The Executive Secretary of Adamawa State Emergency Management Agency, Suleiman Muhammad, who confirmed the incident, said several others were also displaced in other towns during Thursday's torrential rainfall. He explained that 6 corpses have been recovered while 4 others are still missing, adding that the natural disaster led to the hospitalization of 3 children following a building collapse. The agency has now sent an assessment team to the affected areas. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has commenced a nationwide crackdown of all illegal manufacturers and distributors of an intoxicant called kuskura, herbal aphrodisiacs, alcoholic bitters, and other preparations. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojishola Adeyeye, disclosed this on Friday while briefing newsmen in Abuja. The NAFDAC boss said findings from various operations carried out revealed a dangerous trend in the use of such substances laced with high concentration of tobacco and sometimes cannabis by the populace, cutting across gender and age groups, particularly artisans and Okada riders, among others. Professor Adeyeye said recently the agency received a series of reports on the use of a herbal preparation, particularly in the southwest and northern axis of the country. An early years practitioner in Oshogbo, Osun State, Titilola Osho, had advised children to use the holiday period to sharpen their skills and learn new things that will be useful to them later in life. Titilola gave the advice in an exclusive interview with Trust TV's Hamid Oyegwade in Oshogbo. Titilola, who is also a diction coach, counseled children on security tips during the holiday to enable them stay safe, especially when parents are not at home.
During this holiday, take your time to rest. Yes, that is very important. That's the essence of holiday. Number 2, make sure you develop your skill or talent. Tell mommy or daddy to get someone who can teach you how to play that keyboard better, how to play the drums better, how to make hair better, how to, do makeup, whatever skill or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Learn to do it better during this holiday. You can also learn things like cooking. Some of us children don't know how to even cook noodles. You can give it a try with adult supervision during this holiday. Baking is also something you can do. If you're a boy, you don't have to, go out there before you learn something. You can learn how to type on Microsoft Word. You can also use this holiday period to show your gratitude to your parents. How do I mean? When they return from work, tell them to bring up their feet. Give them the massage, all right? Write a thank you note to them. Appreciate them. Make a meal for them during this holiday. School time may not afford you that opportunity. Another thing during this holiday period is security. Children, I want you to, improve your security awareness. Don't open the door for anyone that you are not aware of coming to your house. Make sure you lock the door at the back when you are in the house. Don't use appliances that can put you at danger, e.g. gas cooker, hot irons that you know will not be allowed by your parents for use while they are home. Also, make sure that you don't play rough while at home. Yes, we can play, have some games, but make sure they are not risky play that can put people in danger. All right, so lastly, I want to say that during this holiday, eat well, sleep well. Don't just keep at the screen all the time. Rest your brain and have a great holiday. See you.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come on the news, how EFCC tackles Gombe land scammers. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now another look at our top stories. Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and Non-Academic Staff Union of Non-Educational and Allied Institutions suspends strike action for 2 months. And police raid kidnappers' den in Kaduna, arrest 20-year-old bandit with two AK-47 rifles. And moving on to other news now, the NBC, following the intervention of the Nigerian chapter of the International Press Institute, the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has suspended the revocation of the operating licenses of 52 broadcast stations owing various sums in licensing fees. The NBC has now given the affected stations up to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August 23rd, to pay up their debts. In revoking the licenses on Friday, the Commission had ordered the stations off air beginning this Saturday, citing Section 10A and the third schedule of the National Broadcasting Commission Act Cap N11, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004. After the announcement, IPI Nigeria engaged the Ministry of Information and Culture, the NBC, and the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria to explore amicable resolution to the dispute, leading to the suspension of the ban. The Nigerian Army has urged the public to disregard the report by an online medium that 234 soldiers withdrew from the army due to corruption, low morale, among other factors. An online platform had reported that none of the 234 soldiers had reached the mandatory retirement stage. But responding in a statement, Army spokesman Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu described the report as a concoction of the imagination of the unrepentant enemies of the nation and mischief makers, which should be ignored by the public. Nwachukwu said voluntary retirement is a routine exercise in the Army, adding that it is within the rights of soldiers to withdraw from the service when they deem it fit and if such a request meets certain conditions. And hundreds of shop owners are counting their losses after witnessing their structures being demolished at Kasuwan Shanu in Maiduguri. The market is the largest animal market in Borno State, where customers come from afar to trade. The report.
The cattle market in Maiduguri is fondly called Kasuwan Shanu and has been a center of attraction for cattle dealers. Today, hundreds of shops have been demolished for reasons the traders described as owing none to the government. The demolition has caused other traders to fear for their goods and as they are uncertain about what happens next. Modu Bukar, who runs a restroom facility that was partially brought down, said he and his colleagues were given few hours to vacate before the demolition exercise. Now I'm jobless because I cater for my family with what I get here. At this moment, I rely on God's hand. I engage in farming. I stopped because of age. I seriously want the government to do something. They destroyed our shops without compensation. They didn't tell us where to relocate. We have been into cattle business for 50 years. We call on the government to intervene because we are not happy.
As we know, the economic hardship facing a lot of us in Nigeria, which is largely due to the incompetence of the APC administration. And for them to take such actions, I think is really not appropriate at this time. They should have given ample time, given ample opportunity to remove their goods, and then be given like another place where they can temporarily put their shit and sell their wares.
There are fears that with the market gradually transforming to an open field, it could signal the closure of Kasuwan Shanu market. However, some traders believe that whether or not the market is closed, business will continue in the open.
And the Borno State Stakeholders Consultative Forum of the National Senior Citizens Center has committed to ensuring that concerns and matters of older persons and aging are prioritized in the state. They gave the assurance in Maiduguri during a meeting with the NSCC Director General, Dr. M.M. Omokaro. The report.
The meeting came on the sidelines of the DG's engagement while in Borno State to attend the 2022 World Humanitarian Day and flag off of payment of one-off grants to the vulnerable in the state by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk. More of a crucial advocacy engagement, the Director General renewed her appeal on the need for state governments to domesticate the National Senior Citizens Center Act 2017 and the National Policy on Aging 2021. Achieving this, the DG said, will properly situate federal government's resolve through the National Senior Citizens Center to reposition and give pride of place to senior citizens in Nigeria. Leading the delegation of the Vice Chairman and members of the Consultative Forum to the meeting were the Co-Chairman, Hassan Mustafa and Ambassador Ahmed Shehu. The National Senior Citizens Center's National Stakeholders Consultative Forum on Aging is a platform for coordinating all the state's steering committees and sharing progressive ideas on aging and related matters.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says Gombe State is battling a high rate of land fraud. The Deputy Commandant of the EFCC Academy stated this in an interview with newsmen after a one-day capacity building for staff of Gombe Geographic Information System on curbing land fraud. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The EFCC said land fraud tops the list of all scams in Gombe State and is happening on a daily basis. To tackle the menace, the EFCC Academy is partnering Gombe Geographic Information System GOGIS to build capacity for stakeholders in land administration.
Identify land fraud to be one of the major crimes, especially here in Gombe. And there's a need for the two agencies or two institutions to put heads together to sensitize both its staff to ensure that we are sailing towards the same direction, which is finding out the criminals involved in this huge crime and to ensure that it is minimized within the Gombe metropolis.
The Director General of GOGIS said the agency is collaborating with traditional institutions and relevant government agencies to curb land scams across the state.
So if you look at this issue, we cannot handle this issue alone. We have to seek for an expert, which is Economic and Financial Crime Commission, because they have some advanced gadget which they can trace the good one and the bad ones among the papers presented to us.
The senior district head of Gombe, Alhaji Abdul Qadir Abubakar, is worried that traditional institutions are not adequately involved in land issues in a modern-day society.
Yawanci abubuwan da suke faruwa.
Most of the issues are very big. There must be a reform from local government.
Daga ainihin mu local government.
Committee on Land Advisory at the LGA level must be constituted. It has the chairman, the district head, and custodian of the land. To address the problem of land fraud in Gombe State, stakeholders say government agencies working in the land sector must collaborate with security agencies to checkmate document forgery. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And now for a look at the foreign scene, where Washington on Friday announced that it will be providing $775 million of additional military aid to Ukraine. Now this comes as Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, is hit with fresh strikes, killing at least 15 people. Russian missile hit a residential area in the southern Ukrainian town of Voznesensk, located not far from a nuclear power station, wounding 12 civilians and heightening fears of a nuclear accident. Meanwhile, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has agreed in principle that independent inspectors can travel to the Moscow-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. A number of issues must be resolved before the inspections get underway. And in sports, the federal government has set up a 12-man committee to work towards the successful production and second launch of the Sports Book of Record with a view to documenting athletes' achievements for posterity. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, while inaugurating the committee on Saturday in his office in Abuja, called on the committee to ensure the production and launch of a one-stop shop document for the country's sportsmen and women, as well as their achievements, both past and present, to ensure that their sacrifices are written in gold and documented accordingly. Represented by the ministry's permanent secretary, Alhaji Ismaila Abubakar, Dare charged the committee to be proactive and approach the assignment with utmost responsibility and patriotism. Responding, the chairman of the committee and director of planning, research and statistics of the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, Victoria Agbo, thanked the leadership of the ministry for the opportunity granted to them to serve and pledged the committee's commitment to the successful production and launching of the record book. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.